Hello, my name's Andrew, and this video is covering the pros and the cons of the Light Phone 3 versus the Mudita Kompakt for phone addiction and digital minimalism. Back in 2021, I ditched my iPhone and went full monk mode with the Light Phone 2, which cured my phone addiction and basically gave me my whole life back. But over the years, a lot of people have told me that the Light Phone 2 is just a little bit too minimal for them to switch. Fortunately, this year we got an announcement for the Light Phone 3, which packs some new lightweight features that I feel like might make the transition a lot easier. For starters, where the Light Phone 2 had a smaller, slower grayscale e-ink screen, the Light Phone 3 comes with a medium-sized color OLED screen, which is necessary for the new camera, which we'll talk about, but will also make actions like texting a lot faster and improve the map view and the directions tool, which is basically unusable with e-ink. Although I definitely prefer e-ink for eye strain and slow living, it does seem like the Light team has done everything they can to tone down the OLED screen by making the background black, adding a matte finish for softer light, keeping everything in grayscale other than the photo gallery, and allowing you to quickly adjust the brightness with the side wheel. Another big change from the Light Phone 2 is the back 50 megapixel camera, which seems capable of taking some high quality photos and videos, although with a large depth of field, more like a vintage point and shoot system where everything is in focus. In front, there's an 8 megapixel camera, which opens up more possibilities for quick selfies or video calls with friends and family. The Light team's new blog post also mentions the gallery tool for viewing media, as well as straightforward USB-C sync option for offloading. Like the Light Phone 2, the Light Phone 3 will also have a useful set of non-distracting tools, including an alarm, timer, calculator, calendar, directory, GPS, notes, music, and podcasts, which can be on or offloaded via the online dashboard for a more minimal experience. And per usual, more apps might be added after launch. Build-wise, the Light Phone 3 looks more premium than the Light Phone 2, with a wider screen, upgraded speaker grille, and metal frame that give it a modern industrial vibe, while the odd dimensions and unique layout retain the original's quirky, rebellious style. Apparently, we can also expect cases, but the design is TBD at this point. Starting from the top of the Light Phone 3, you've got a fingerprint ID button and scroll wheel, as well as rounded volume, menu, and shutter buttons that look ergonomically pleasing. Underneath, there's a wide stereo speaker grille, 2 noise-canceling microphones, and USB-C port, which are huge improvements from the Light Phone's 2 outdated micro USB port and tinny audio. Around back, the Light Phone 3 has a flashlight, which is controlled by the wheel button, and a screw-off replaceable battery. In general, the Light Phone 3 is more powerful with a 1080 by 1240 OLED screen, 1800 milliamp battery, 128 gigabytes of memory, 6 gigabytes of RAM, Bluetooth 5.0, Nano and eSIM, 4 and 5G international network support, and NFC, which may eventually enable contactless payments. FYI, the Light Phone is currently scheduled to ship in January of 2025. Honestly, given that the Bucks Palma has no cell service, and the techless Wise Phone is just a dumbed down Google Pixel with a creepy set of monitoring tools for conservative helicopter parents, I wasn't super impressed with any of the Light Phone 3 alternatives until I found out about the Mudita Kompakt, whose founder Michał Kicinski, God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is also the co-founder of CD Projekt, the studio behind The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077. Anyways, the Kompakt has an e-ink screen which is much better for eye strain, blue light, insomnia, and de-stressing than LED, while also, judging by the recent demos, seeming to be a bit faster and more seamless than the older e-ink screen used in the Light Phone 2. At 8x400 pixels, it's not high def like the Light Phone 3, but my e-ink monitor isn't any better, and it doesn't bother me. In fact, the lo-fi texture and soft ambient light that reflects off e-ink's devices makes them feel more like reading a newspaper than staring at a digital screen. Considering that the Mudita Kompakt only has an 8 megapixel camera, and the e-ink is shaky at best when displaying videos, I can see it being useful for snapping basic photos, but for higher quality shots, you probably want a full DSLR or a small action camera like the Osmo Pocket. In terms of tools, the Mudita Kompakt is pretty similar to the Light Phone 3, with a GPS, notes, calculator, and music, but with a few extras like books, meditation, chess, and files. And although it doesn't currently include podcasts, that could easily be added in the future, or alternatively, you could just download and transfer MP3 files. As with the Light Phone, Mudita also has a dashboard where you can manage settings, etc., although it's also available as a desktop app, which is a nice perk. While I do think the Light Phone 3 wins in terms of style, the Mudita Kompakt also has a unique minimal design that diverges nicely from the generic smartphone form of the Bucks Palma and Wise Phone. And it's great to have multiple color options as well as hard cases and screen protectors. Most notably, I love the online-offline slider on the left side of the Mudita Kompakt, and the bottom buttons also seem useful for quick navigation, not to mention the fingerprint reader and flashlight. Also, the icon-based UI will feel familiar to anyone one coming from a regular smartphone, which could make the transition easier, although there is something to be said for the simpler text-based menu of a light phone if you're trying to break addictive behavior patterns. In general, the Mudita Kompakt feels like a nice upgrade to the light phone 2, with a 3300 milliamp battery that can last up to 6 days on standby, an 800 by 400 e-ink screen, dual SIM micro SD plus eSIM, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of expandable storage, fingerprint reader, 8 megapixel camera, USB-C or wireless charging, flashlight, and NFC, which should eventually support contactless payments as with the light phone 3. And FYI, the Kompakt is currently scheduled to ship in May of 2025. Overall, the light phone 3 and Mudita Kompakt are both excellent options for anyone who wants to permanently detox from smartphone addiction and embrace a more minimal way of living. That said, because the specs are fairly similar and each company has a solid track record of protecting user privacy and providing long-term support, I feel like the decision just boils down to a few key features. If you need a high-quality camera and faster screen for a more busy life and want a one-of-a-kind device with a high-end design and no distractions, then choose the light phone 3. And if you don't need a camera and prioritize eye strain and slow living over maximizing productivity while still having a unique, mindful design, then choose the Mudita Kompakt. Finally, if you want to support the channel, you can shop the referral links down below, watch my light phone 2 versus 3 video, or check out my e-ink playlist for more minimalist reviews. And if you have a question about the light phone 3 or the Mudita Kompakt, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, catch you next time, peace!